Welcome back. That's right, we're back. It's the Master Channel Podcast. I am DJ Wild Body.
And I'm CX, the producer.
And this is the Master Channel Podcast 2021. We discuss the ins and outs of this thing of ours called hip hop. That's right, we're back once again. Second installment, season number 3. And we are back. We got a real special treat for you. Hope you enjoyed the first one. We're going to keep it moving. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to welcome our brother, our comrade, DC's finest. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for the comrade, Blacmav.
Hey, what's up? What's good, y'all?
What's going on, man?
Man, everything and nothing. You know how it goes. Ain't shit, ain't nothing worth talking about too much.
Hey.
They pulling you out after a while. You know what I'm saying?
That.
Straight up.
Even professionals that ignoring you. Oh, you stressed? Oh, right. All right, I got you.
Man, got Blacmav boy here, man. Always a pleasure, bro. We on here. We got the Blacmav put a project out. We're gonna talk a little bit about that. We're just gonna get into some things, man. You know, everything's gonna flow like we want it to flow. So, man, let's start out, man. Without any further ado, we got Blacmav presents Mav Revue for 2020, the COVID files. Can you explain to our audience everything entailed about the review and how it came about, and just take us back, man.
So, the review itself, I started doing that back in 2016. So this was the fifth one, the fifth official release. And I guess you could say about, 2020, it started off like a normal year for everybody. I actually went out to LA with Roddy Rod. I went out there and had a blast, went to NAMM just to, go out there for the first time and, meet some folks that was doing what you was doing. But it was crazy, the reception that I got when I went out and I was playing beats. You know what I'm saying? Like folks was, like, your sound is there. So I was like, oh, okay, Bama Drive belong, in this space. And it was like, man, I don't feel like coming home for real. Now, House Shoes, chill with House Shoes at his crib, and he was just playing some unreleased stuff and gave me some, some treats to leave with and stuff like that. It was like, okay, like this was that. And that was like the middle of January. Then you got back around like Martin Luther King Day. And I'm turning around and look, and I saw a bunch of bandos with masks on. And I was like, all right, well, it's 4 a.m. Maybe, it was an international ticket or something. I wasn't even tripping. Man, a week later, Kobe winded up passing, and a little blip in the paper. It was like real small. It was like, oh yeah, coronavirus. And it made me think back to the, being at LAX. So I was at work, and I remember this was like the middle of February. I'm at work. I got a mask on. Getting on the elevator, people laughing at me like, ha, dude, on one. I'm like looking at them like, I seen Outbreak. I ain't playing. Right. And it just, by the time we got to like the middle of March, man, people ain't know if they was coming or going. So it's like, I think in a way, everybody kind of went through a period where they was affected, whether they showed it or not, like they was affected, whether it was depression, whether they was heavy on the bottle, whether they was heavy being creative, whether they was knocking junks off, because there's a lot of kids out here. There's a lot of Bama's about to drop some seeds, like, you know what I'm saying? You do the math. Yeah, so 9 months or whatever. I mean, my man, one of them. And I just turned around and looked, and I think for just the hype that the media gave it, with the frenzy, and then us, quote unquote, social media, but it's the people, we feeding into it as well. You turn around and look, and it was like, man, I ain't really feel like I did a lot of stuff over the years, over the whole year. Yeah. And I went back and started looking through joints where I just did like a random freestyle. Like the first joint that it opens with was a freestyle I did like the end of March, and it was like, oh, I was on one. You know what I'm saying? Just saying how I felt at that time. And I was like, you know what? This joint gonna just have to take that turn. Because normally what they say about music, the best thing you can do is not timestamp it. Yeah. So it'll have, that shelf life. But I'm like, for this, I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. You can't negate it happening. So talk about it. You know what I'm saying? It's like everybody that I did tracks with, either they was talking about it or it just had that undertone. So I was like, the COVID files, that's the project. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, well, Blacmav.bandcamp.com to go check that out. It's currently out right now on Bandcamp. Got 15 tracks. Oh man, so
18
many.
if you spending some bread in the video though. I just let you know. I'm
Right,
always throwing the bonus joints in, so you know.
Yep.
You pay it, it'll be worth your while. You know what I'm saying?
I kind of slipped up and almost put one of the tracks in the commercial.
No doubt.
Yeah. When I was listening to it, and Wildby was like, we need a commercial. That's why I text you Wildby, like, man, am I supposed to use these in the commercial, man?
Hey.
But you know what though? I usually do that. That's kind of bait. You know what I'm saying? Like, you throw some chum every now and again. They'd be like, oh, I ain't never heard that. And then they go to the album and it's like, it ain't on there. Yes, it is. You like just have to open that wallet.
Yeah. Right.
So, you know, it's been 5 years of learning, man.
Right.
Learning on the go. Gotta have something for them.
Well, congratulations, bro. You know.
Thanks, man. I always got to owe it to y'all, man. Like I said, just, you know, being around y'all and picking up ideas and figuring out, you know, give yourself more credit than you take away from yourself. A lot of times we are our own worst critics, whether, you know, we hear something and it's like, so-and-so got that fire and they might just be playing sample pack loops. You know what I'm saying? So I just stay in my lane, focus on if I like it or not. And if I don't, you know what I'm saying? I just don't.
Hey, I'm not saying this because we family, man, but I haven't heard a bad track from you ever.
Never.
Thanks,
I can say that too. I concur.
I'm serious.
I was about to say, because I got, man, hey, I mean, dues was paid. I got a lot of them. I got some boiled eggs off that joint.
CX. We sitting there one night, they playing the best, they you know, throwing their old tracks in. So man, I made this in 05. I'm like, man, sitting there like, you made this in 05. Like, man, let me tell you something, man.
Hey, learning curve. I mean, I'm learning from CX. What you say? You said you take stuff that you learn from one joint and just apply it to another machine.
Right.
That's what I had to do, like figure out how to apply what I was doing on Reason over to the MP. You know what I'm saying? So,
so you did all them Jones on the MP?
The majority of them, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The let me think. Track 1 was done on Reason. Most of them joints and a few of them I actually did like when I was doing the straight out the box joint. It was live on the street. One of the joints was done in Richmond on the street. A couple of other ones was done, you know, just being around the city doing joints. I was like, hey, there it is.
You know, Mav has also moved into doing videography, man. An awesome job. He just dropped a video. Go check that out on YouTube with the comrade Northeast Beast called Riding Shotgun. Well, Mav, I want to ask you this question, man. You know, push through it. Push. Oh, my bad. What? Oh, I'm sorry.
You got Riding Shotgun.
Hey, I'm ODing on the Blacmav YouTube channel. Forgive me.
The playlist.
Push through it, featuring Lil Riley, produced by Blacmav. The video is awesome. Go check that out. I want to ask you a question, Mav. You know, you put a lot of content out during the years. What motivates you, man, to keep pushing? What motivates you?
It's gonna seem kind of weird, but honestly, when the stuff that I like was popping, I wasn't in a position to do it. You know what I'm saying? Either I ain't had the equipment, or I couldn't rhyme, or I wasn't making beats at the time, but I still, you know, love what I was hearing. So it's like now, you know, I'm just trying to capture that feeling, almost like trying to get that high again. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like stuff that I heard back in, you know, when I mean, shit, we can go back 80s, 90s, you know, early 2000s, just certain stuff I heard. And was like, oh, man, they flipped this, and you know what I'm saying? Or that was done, you know what I'm saying? Or he used this rhyme scheme, and just some people just did what they, you know, what came natural, and it was what it was. So it's like, now, how do you make something where, you know, at the end of the day, if you had to recreate it, it wouldn't be no problem because it's just what you do. You know what I'm saying? That's what I focus on. That's why I don't never, you know, I find sample chop that I like, and it's like somebody else might be like, oh man, that's basic. But by the time it all come together, you get what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the name of the game. Keep it simple, stupid.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I tell people that all the time. It's still, you can be a complex person, but still output simple stuff.
And I had to learn that because I used to be like Mr. 88 fingers over everything, and everything was like an 8B section. That was before I started sampling.
Right.
And sampling kind of made me calm down and think to the point of actually arranging like it's a band. So, when you're going to do something, even if you're using a vocal chop, what is it for? Is it supposed to be out in front and center, or is it just supposed to be for color, or what? So, still got to think with that artistic mindset even when you're going to sample. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
yeah. Man, I mean, I've watched your growth. You know what I'm saying, as far as machine wise and everything, and I've seen you work, with the machines. And first off, you did all the mixing and mastering on the project, right?
Yeah, all the mixing and mastering was done on Reason 10. Yeah.
It's funny you said that because I'm sitting here with a laptop with that open right now.
Yeah, Reason 10. The only thing that's affected me, my laptop it's got 2 cores, but if I had like 4 or 6 cores on the joint, like it wouldn't be no need for me to even think about another computer.
Right.
But laptops, once you get them, that's what you got for the most part. So, but yeah, this joint is the workhorse. I can't lie.
Yeah, and I mean, Reason doesn't really tax like that. Never did.
My main thing comes in with plugins. You know what I'm saying? Use plugins or whatever. So I try to do a lot of onboard stuff first, and leave a lot of stuff just for post. You know what I'm saying? So
turn a lot of stuff to audio.
Yeah. Now that's the thing that I did when I exported. Everything was straight waves. You know what I'm saying? Everything, and that helped me up a lot.
That's a jewel for those of you. The jewel for CX taught me that. That's able to.
I don't think I would have been able to get the sound that I wanted out of a lot of the tracks just because I wanted some automation and stuff to go on like that. So it's like, okay, on the MP, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna do my mutes or whatever that I want to do, and then I'm gonna just export it out like that, clean but dry. Right. General EQing on it. Right. And then I can go on Reason and get busy and kind of, make sure the low end's peaking on, in certain places and scooping out mud and stuff like that. But I really didn't go crazy in the MP as far as doing all of that. I just got a basic, account for what I wanted and just exploded the tracks out and went from there.
I mean, you can do some amazing things in the MPC. And the Force and the MPC One, mixing wise, they do have some stuff in there, and I mean, but I always say that a lot of that is really if you don't want to touch the computer for no mixing, you can do basically a lot of it in there. But in terms of it's a lesson being learned that I'm ready to speak about. It's not what you use, it's how you use it. He mixed the whole project in Reason, and it's not to say that you need Pro Tools, Studio One, Ableton. I mean, you could use all of those things, but
use whatever as long as you understand it.
Right. I mean, you got people mixing in Reaper, and shout out to Jay Bishop, Cad Brown, Praise. Those are heavy Reaper users. But the album sounds tight, you know what I'm saying? I listened to it and sent it to me, and I dig the joint, you know what I'm saying? You know how I was. I already know what to expect. I rode in the car with you and you kept playing when we was going to see what's it called that time? Yeah. So I already know what to expect, you know what I'm saying? And one thing I can say about both of y'all, and this is the thing about both of y'all can have a sample playing in the beginning of the track, and you be like, where the hell they going at with this sample, right? But then when everything drops, you're like, oh shit, I would have never thought it. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of people told me that about the intro, and there wasn't no samples on it, but just the way it was kind of played out. Like, all right, like everything was kind of over here and over there, and then the drums just kind of glued it all together. And
Glue it together.
Okay. So yeah,
together.
Man, I salute how you've been able to, to me, you're an inspiration. You people don't, sometimes people don't know the inspirations, man. We talk a lot and, just, hey man, what you doing? Sometimes like, yo man, what you up to? And like, I know one thing, you have a reputation and you have a good reputation with this, always going to be quality. He's always going to be working and he ain't going to, it's not going to be no bullshit. And when you try, you go at something, you're a very driven type of individual, man. And that comes out of your pores. So automatically, dude like me gonna pick up on that, man. And I'm gonna try to grab some of that energy, man, as well. So
thank you. Yeah. You know what the biggest thing about that is? I remember right before I moved to New York, I was doing like, the pause tape mixes or the joints where I had the Casio keyboard and I had this Linux Sound boombox, the double joint. So I would wind up recording and play the keyboard part all the way through, then put the tape in one side, fresh tape in the other, record again, do the bass line, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Do it and put it all together.
Yeah.
Just like, I'm going straight through it. But the part that was weird was like, man, the sound quality was trash. And I had gotten the crazy thing is you got to do something right the first time if you can, because once you get used to doing something wrong, that's a bad habit to keep. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So doing stuff now is like, whether it's mixing or whatever, like a lot of times, I mean, y'all know when it come to mixing, it'd be like, man, like I hear what I want to do with this joint, it just ain't doing what I wanted to do. You'll be like, man, forget it. But I'm in the mindset now where like, even if I just got to put it away, come back, like even when I post on social media, I'll be like, yo, I had to get my ears a rest. I just put something to the side, maybe go and do a couple of beats, go and watch some YouTube videos or whatever, and come back at it with a fresh set of ears. Sometimes it would just take me 20 minutes. Other times it might take 2-3 days, but I get back at it till I get it right. If it ain't right, it ain't going on there for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Straight up.
So it's a couple of joints that didn't make the cut for that reason. An interlude that I wanted to use with a drum loop, and I was like, man, I couldn't get the drum loop to, not get out of the way of the sound bites that I had for it. And I was like, you know what, it ain't important anyway. It would have filled the joint out though, but like I said, it was just. It's good when you got options to choose from. Like, oh, okay, I can just use this instead. Right. So
standards, you got standards. Your standards.
Right. Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, that's what's most important, because we talking artist development. That's really what my goal is, to be able to develop an artist and do production for people, and kind of point them in the right direction. I feel like for a lot of people, they're proficient at one thing, but if it comes to something else, they might as well be walking in the street with a blindfold on. But at least if I got an idea of what goes into actual, mixing, mastering, production, video, then I can tell you like, hey, you might be getting gypped on there. You might want to speak up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, jack of all trades, master of none kind of thing. That's my approach with it. So,
shop.
Yep.
Hey, that's
just been the move.
Why body,
sir?
Guitar Center going out of business, right?
Man.
Hey, moment of silence.
Yeah. I mean, they're going out of business, but it just, it speaks more to what I was talking about on the album. It's like, the people are so used to giving up freedoms, not knowing that they're giving them up. We're having certain things like you can get your food delivered or Amazon or whatever, and just all of this stuff that's missing. But then you get mad when you don't get what you want. It's a luxury in being able to go now and actually look at and test what you want to buy. You know what I'm saying?
That is.
You got different joints like overstock.com where you can get your clothes. But if you didn't fucked around and had some cupcakes before the delivery get there, you was a 5'6", then your ass is a 7'8". You got hunches in your trousers. Like, nah, like people giving up too much, man. And I feel like, for humans, and I ain't saying it like I'm dogpiling on them because I'm a human myself, but if you giving up certain liberties, you can't get mad when the perks ain't there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you find people, they fight over stuff that's trivial, and the stuff they should be fighting for, they be quiet. Tell us too late. You know what I'm saying? So,
I mean, we living in a capitalistic society, and this place is built on services.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So, so any type of service that could make somebody lazy, the public will eat it up.
There it is.
DoorDash, and this contributes to that. And that's gonna be a loss, like you said. That's gonna be a loss when people actually can. It's gonna be trying stuff out.
It already is. It's like, to me, folks is regressing. Right. Yeah, I'm saying that regressing in the nature, because if you used to having that stuff done for you, you're not gonna really know how to do it. From actually being able to sign a signature for a check, like a lot of the stuff that was, more so fitting for the lower class, and we didn't know it. Now it's about to be a global thing where a lot of people don't know it. So you can be duped. If you don't know, you can be duped. Once they kill off people like us that's been here for a minute and seen before the internet and this and that, youngins is sitting ducks because they know everything. You know what I'm saying?
They're supposed to know everything. You know what I'm saying? And
I hope they pay attention. I'm trying to drop jewels in the music for them.
Yeah. And how was it working with Beast on with
man the joint that was crazy? He winded up good dude. He winded up not that he even had to do it. He winded up gifting me his grandfather's records. His grandfather winded up passing away.
Wow.
And he was like, we got these records or whatever, and I ain't just want to let them go or whatever. I wanted to give them to you. So I was like, you know what? Like, for what it is, if that's the case, how about, we take it and we do something with it instead of it just sitting or somebody else benefit from it. So the sample actually came from one of his grandfather's records.
Wow.
And, was sitting at his crib, made the track right quick. And I was like, I said, you got something for this? And he was like, yeah, like I'm gonna have something for that. But then his nephew was there and he just kept like mimicking what Beast was doing.
Right.
And I told him, I was on the phone. I was like, I said, you might want to go ahead and record that. And he was like, yeah, but he ain't gonna do it. He ain't doing it exactly how I'm doing it. I said, man, I got the wizardry. I'll make it work with reason.
Right.
And then time stretched some parts and did a little bit of transposing with some vocals that was this and pitch bending and whatever. And threw Andy Terrace on it. And when it gets to the end of the song, on the track that we just did, like he was the focal point of the track. He took us out.
Wow.
Right. So, that was cool to be able to feature him on there because, it's going to be the youngest fight after a while. So
yeah,
if you putting them on and you exposing them to stuff like this, no matter how small, they can remember when somebody actually cared about, what they was doing and what say so they had at the end of the day. So,
right,
heavy. But it's it's a heavy time, and I think the biggest thing is people's trying to treat it like it's not. They're just trying to, let me just look around like this ain't really going on. You know what I'm saying? As far as the killings and all like that, that's one thing. But talking about, turn the news on, you might get 3 different stories in one day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Murder hornets and somebody got COVID and the truck fell down the steps. And you'd be like, what? The truck fell down the steps? That'd be the most important thing.
Yeah, you're right.
Straight up.
Trucks going down the steps. People use steps, man.
Right.
I mean, it sounds dumb, but that was all in 2020. Yo, half of this stuff sounds dumb as hell.
Right,
You like, yo, is that dude?
Man, COVID, man. Murder hornets on the way.
Murder hornets, bro. These niggas like if they murder hornets, who was measuring these niggas with rulers, man? Come on, man. Come on, man. Good on that. I woke up on New Year's Day, man, and looked at the TV. I saw Cole. I said, cut it off, man. Put some Tom Jordan. Cut that shit off.
Man.
Tired, man. Come on, man. Not the first day. I can't do it,
man. You never lied.
And it ain't to say that I'm trying to get away from it because I know it's there, but
right.
I know stuff consume you, and you start acting like what you hate. That's all I'm taking that. That's the biggest thing with all of this. Yep.
You gotta be careful of that.
Because a lot of people, man, out this joint sickly, and it's about what they taking into their body. You know what I'm saying? And it's more so mental than anything else. Because I know some people, them niggas eat pizzas every day, but rock solid mental, and ain't got an ounce of fat on them. You know what I'm saying? Because they got their willpower. Yep. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, it's all relative, man. People trying to separate it. That's the key to this. That's the hustle. You separate it. You don't think one thing's more important than the other, and it's all relative.
Yeah, it's all relative.
Yep.
You're right.
Now, one more thing, man. On the album, did you use most of stock Reason plugins?
Yeah. I used stock Reason plugins, and then I actually used Isotope plugins.
Oh, which ones?
The main Isotope joints I used was for master.
Oh, okay. I hope you wasn't creating with them.
Nah.
You better not even try.
Nope.
Your computer would have stopped, and you would have got a message on the screen like, "Come on, man, you know better than this."
That joint hang up, be looking like a Van Gogh painting.
Yeah.
Nah. And I learned that quick when I got like, okay, can't use Iris 2, can't really use the trash joint. So for a lot of stuff, it was just relying on waves and kind of shape the sound. Mm-hmm. So it's not really a lot of processing. You know what I'm saying? Outside of stock plugins, and maybe something that kind of, like auto panning or something like that. But I didn't do nothing super crazy on the joint that was taxing. If it was kind of real light or there every once in a while for something that was sparse. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, the mix came out incredible. As you know what I'm saying? The mix came.
I hope I got the formula down. You know what I'm saying? The whole -8 thing. Like that's all of my final mixes came out around -8. You know what I'm saying? And once I figured that out, it was like, oh, okay. Now I got all this headroom, and I can bring out certain frequencies that was maybe, lacking a little bit. I can bring that out in the master without affecting the mix too much.
Mm-hmm.
So you actually were before you mix, when you exporting or whatever, you'll have it at -8.
Yep. Yeah, I go for my digital readout at -8. Now it may wind up by the time I check it, it may be like -7.5 or something like that, but that's more than enough.
Right.
All my final master edits come out at -0.5.
Right.
That's where I got my limiter at. So
you got a lot of headroom then.
Yeah. I always go for a lot of headroom, which is weird for hip hop though, because that low end takes up a lot of that energy. Yeah. So you got to make sure to, like I said, I just go back in sometimes and add that later, give stuff spacing. And one of the things I learned was side chaining on my master bus for frequencies. So I'd side chain out usually 200 and below. I'm basically rolling off on that, and that's leaving space for that to be uncompressed. You know what I'm saying? And just have everything else on the mid side. So, I'm still getting used to like my background vocals not being as far in front of of the main vocal. But again, that's something when it comes to the next review, I always got something that, you know, I'm working on, or just tracks in general. You know what I'm saying? Something that I see and be like, yeah, that was cool, but what could be that much better? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And just listening from where I've been and hear where I'm going, you know, where I want to go.
Right.
So,
Gotcha.
you know, yep.
What's your favorite joint on the project? One of your kind of like, you know,
the favorite joint. I got a couple of them actually. Some of them are just the fact that it's just like, you know, raw, whatever that emotion was, and then some of them is just jive funny. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I would say Silly Thoughts is like one of my favorites because it's something that I normally wouldn't have even, you know, thought about doing, but it was like, look, you know how much time we got left? Come get me. Got to it. So, yeah. It's a cover, by the way. Thanks, Gadget.
Shout out Gadget out there.
Yeah, shout out to Gadget, man.
Shout out to Gadget.
Skype Williams, aka.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Skype Williams. I was wondering who that was. They be telling on Twitter all the time, like, who the hell is Skype Williams?
Mr. Clubhouse.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. Well, you know, it's like I say, man, it's been a pleasure to, like, you know, I can't get it. I got so much knowledge and stuff just being around y'all, man, and it's always, you know, I want to get to a place to where I got something every year at the same time was I'm on release, and that's based on my workload for the year. And that's a beautiful thing, man. And you know, it ain't like you sitting idle, bro. Even though you feel, you know, sometimes.
Well, it was weird because that's what I thought the birthday beat tape was going to be. And because I did like 2 of those. And then, you know, my pops passed. It was like, fuck a birthday beat tape. And I ain't did another one since. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, at the end of the day, I think the review just kind of, you know, it kind of held more weight because, you know, my daughter's birthday is the day before. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, like that's right after. That's a good reason to celebrate right there. But yeah, it came around, you know, the birthday beat tape. I was like, man, good idea. But I ain't forcing nothing. If you gotta force it, it's gonna show.
Yeah, it's gonna show.
You got that right.
This joint is like, I already know when it comes to that final quarter, I start winding down, I start going through and checking and seeing, you know, check your inventory, see what you got, and then it's like you do the listen test, like what's gonna make the cut and what ain't. And this year I was like, man, it's kind of rough. I got some joints, it's like I really want them to hear this. But then, like I said, by the time I started looking at tracks I did for other people and what the climate of it was, I was like, you know what? We can just go in this direction. And then it was just easy to kind of peel the layers back, and I was left with what I was left with. So
yeah, I got you.
Straight up.
Because we was just talking, you know, on another interview, we was talking about curating, you know, curating beats, you know, and when it's time to stop and say, I got enough to make an album. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That takes a special person, especially when you're proficient at making them.
I really haven't made no beats. You know, like I said, when I get the whole, you know, the ear fatigue or whatever, I'll make one every now and again, but I really ain't made nothing since, I'd say like October, like the middle of October. Maybe like 10 joints since then. So it's like, you know, and I haven't done nothing this year either yet. So something gonna happen. You just kind of get that buzz, like, all right.
Right.
Time to get cooking again. So, you know, God got my back.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Straight up.
Yeah.
And all this. You know, I always say we blessed, man. For people in my circle around me, you know, I have a couple people that have fell, you know, victim to everything going on as far as the COVID and all that, you know, with losing of employment and the health and stuff like that. But for the most part, already been blessed, man, you know, and it's sometimes, like you said, you know, I don't want to do any music right now. Like,
you working the Lions Den, bro. I'm some prep man. But everybody at your gig was coming up with that joint. I was like,
man, like, get out of there, clear out.
He was Terry Tating everybody over that joint. Get away from me. No.
You know what's crazy? It's funny you said the name, man. You know that's my homeboy, right?
Terry Tate. Oh, word.
Yeah, that's my homeboy, Big Lester. That's my homeboy, Big Lester.
Word. Yeah, that's
that's my homeboy.
Tell him I admire his work. Just don't do that to me though. Man, I saw that joint. He was hitting Bama's, had him lopsided on film. I said, "Damn."
Yeah. I met him back in '87. Him and my homeboy. They were doing bodyguard. They were doing bodyguard work.
Okay.
And then he moved out there while I was gone.
Okay.
I know his whole family.
Yeah.
Big Lester. Right. Big soft self. He's soft as Red Cross cotton, man, for real.
Hey, they say it be like that though. As long as you don't rile them up, they be cool though.
Yeah.
Do you miss being out there? Before all this hit, you were actually going setting up out in the city and stuff. Is that?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I said, the way that the year started, I came back to the East Coast with had this super master plan. Like, yo, I'm gonna do this. We're gonna go out and we're gonna hit these spots. I ain't really worried about what's popping. I'm gonna make them come to me. Mm-hmm. I went and had went and got the speakers and figured out what worked. I had the wireless mics, and I let people know, it wasn't no selfish thing. It was basically like I was creating the food truck. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what the whole format is like having a food truck. And then my next plan was to go and get the brick and mortar spot and do like once a month or something like that. And it's basically, I still want to do that, whereas putting people on like us. You know what I'm saying? So you can have all the acts come through, the singers, make it where you bringing the elements together, the singers, the spoken word artists, all of that. And then, but you also got your producers, you know what I'm saying? And you bring it in and it's like a potluck. And at the end, for whoever that feature producer is, take what they got at the end of the night and they showcase what they got. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that whole thing for me, that's straight out the box, is like training ground for me.
Right.
And folks I know that gig for a living, they would use different venues around the city, and they doing paid gigs, but they rehearsing. You know what I'm saying? They using that joint as rehearsal. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I took a page out their book and be like, all right, that's what this can be. And still gonna sharpen steel, with our collective. Still sharpen the steel. So that's something that still got to happen. Whenever this joint ease up and it's truly safe to go out, I'm about to be on it.
Let me tell you something. When that shit, I might just jump in. I'm gonna jump in the car when this is all said and done. I'm just gonna drive, man. I ain't never missed driving so much in my life, out of state.
Because even if you get in the car now, it's like, where do you go? Just
where you going at?
Come back home? Yeah. Right. So, can't even really do too much of that to the degree. You know what I'm saying?
Straight up.
So just turn around and look, man. I think it really put in perspective for a lot of people, the ones that's paying attention, man, I really had a lot. Yeah. Had access to a lot versus, you ain't even really been told. They telling you, but it's kind of loose. Hey, don't go over there. And then you see Bama's just saying, forget it, I'm gonna do it. And then you see him.
Right.
No, I'm gonna listen to what they telling me.
Right. That's what it takes for you to come to your senses, huh?
Man, listen. Yeah, that joint sounding like a damn Pomeranian barking.
How many business and hedges did you have?
Right? I don't even smoke. You sound like it. Right? They had a cigarette with cheese up there.
Oh my God.
It's a damn sharp cheddar in the damn nigga, hey, when you cough and your bottom lip shake, nigga, you got a problem.
Man, I ain't even gonna Joan on none of that, man.
Hey, I done seen it, bro. That's what, and it's like people is taking it light. They taking it real light.
I know.
I can't do it. Then get invited to stuff, and I'd be like, nah, I'm at the house. You know what I'm saying? So, you know.
Me on a Zoom call.
Virtual is my friend. Yeah, right. You can't catch me virtually. He was like, yeah, I got to come through. I was like, no, you don't. You ain't hit the jack. Don't hit me at all.
All right. You can digitally sign stuff now.
Yeah,
they could do that.
I know. I mean, that's the light now. Some people like, really?
Yeah, late to the party. I better get Adobe. Get on my face.
Right. Acrobat, man.
Acrobat reader and get on my face. They are like 8 or 9.0
now. Right. So yeah. Real quick. So what's next, man? What's in the pipeline?
The weird thing is I did a lot of recording last year. Even though I didn't think I did. But it may sound messed up, but the time we living in, I ain't got no plans. I'm gonna just keep getting busy. You know what I'm saying? Gotcha. Wherever the creativity spark. I mean, for all the projects that I got, it's just kind of weird when you're working with people. Stuff may hit, right. And it may not. But as long as you keep your feet moving, whenever that, joint that you got in the tuck, it drop. That's just an added bonus. You know what I'm saying? So I can't even really speak on the projects that's already done because we ain't got no definite dates. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm gonna just keep on grinding and something to turn up because somebody gonna bring up a conversation and ideas get to flowing and here you are. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's how Push Through came up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that was like one of the last joints that was done. We recorded that back like almost like October. You know what I'm saying? But I got like 3 other projects that's like done and they still ain't got, certain things together, whether it's, the fact that I need to work on some more mixes with it or pass it off to somebody else or we want to have some visuals to come out with it as far as the rollout. But, that Push Through a joint was self-contained. That's why I was just like, all right, I shoot the video for it. I already did the production. Let's get it going. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
I like when stuff happens organically, man. It's just, I like forcing things.
Yeah.
Especially with music, And
I think you need that now more than ever because it's like, I just feel like a lot of stuff is kind of forcing the issue. Like, you just gotta have, to the effect, man. I'll tell you one of the saddest things I saw in 2020, and I'm gonna keep saying this till the day I leave this earth, bro. When I saw ESPN, they had on TV people playing 2K.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
TV, bro. I was like, you know what? I said it can't be that bad. Like just get a book, man. Get a book. Go out this joint, do some squats in your front yard, do something. You gotta watch TV that bad.
Yeah.
You gotta have sports that bad. Like, nah. You might just want to take a leisurely stroll, man. You might see somebody in the neighborhood you ain't even know and get some knowledge from them.
Nah. Right. True.
No.
True. Right. Straight up.
It was like, it was like, yeah, I'm glad we're back. You know what I'm saying? They played like all the teams, they played like 3 games and they start dropping off like flies. Oh, well, that season's up. Well, we gotta still figure out if we can have the championship game. Oh, so-and-so in the locker room. It's like, just put your ass down.
You know what touches me? You know what tickles? Well, not really tickle me, but just how many establishments they take the risk for the money when they really don't need it, but the greed just has a hold on them. Or let me,
where's the camera?
Right.
Man, boy, if you talk about what I think we talk about, look, is this show over? Man, I got colorful commentary for stuff. Everybody, man, is money. Yo, money is the driving force for a lot of this. And the crazy thing is, the dollar about as volatile as a fat person on a seesaw. Like, come on, yo. Come on, yo. It can't be like you can't sit still for for a little bit. And like, if you're gonna make it essential, really make it essential. Like, they make everything essential, man. It's like, all right.
They tried to.
Right.
Yeah, they tried to. So
what's the sense of making stuff essential if you just gonna manipulate it?
It's just gonna be the same.
Right.
Everybody can't be essential.
Man, listen. Essentially stupid.
Yeah, that. Definitely that.
Or either greedy. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And the people that's got you out there that's, leading the war cry, they just stepping back and letting you do the dirty work. And you're like, oh, you died? All right, well, we got a position open. Like, nah, they try to go out like Willie Lump up.
Right.
Nah.
Straight up. Shit,
a lot of people, like I said, that's what they here for, because they feel like that's their shot. It's like, man.
Straight up.
So I learned a lot about people and what they, what they willing to do. It's like, oh, that's all it take for you? Okay. That was less than $40.
I would never thought.
You talking less than the tank of gas, and people is out here like, oh man, he was coughing. And you still there? All right. You stay there with him, man. I get up with y'all. Go to work. Quarantine be in effect. What they say, don't be around nobody for longer than 15 minutes.
Yep.
Shit, you lucky if I smell
15 seconds.
Oh yeah, I'm out of here. Good.
Yeah, man.
You ask me a question, you better call me or text. Don't get up in my face and ask me nothing.
Right. Hey,
some people, they just, business as usual.
Yeah.
Personal with you. You're like, hey, sir.
Yeah, the close talker.
Especially if you're taller than them. Hey, brother, right? Like, yeah, so like, yo, why do you not be even if it wasn't on quarantine? Even if it's nothing.
College thinking.
Oh, man. Straight up. Yeah. I can smell the bottom of your stomach. You too close.
Right. Hey, you know what? I feel the need to say this though, because I am kind of like dogpiling this all from last year. But I think you asked me what was my plan for this year. If anything, I feel like the content that I want to put out this year is to be the catalyst for change instead of admitting defeat. So I'm gonna talk about how I actually want stuff to be, or find people that talk about, that want to bring up solutions rather than just keep talking about the problem. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, all jokes aside, like, that's what the goal is. I'm trying to deal with folks like that. And, the whole Push Through It song, like, Beast acknowledged, like, all of this is going on, but, like, it's going to be rough, but push through it, because if you planning on being around, you're going to have to go through something.
Yeah,
right.
And a lot of times, if you just keep talking about what's going wrong, you admitting defeat.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a test of strength and character and everything,
Yep. Yeah.
And staying strong.
That's my plan. Yeah, so if y'all can edit that. That's what my plan is this year.
I think that's dope, man. This is plenty enough. We know the problems. Let's start talking about.
Yeah, start talking about the solutions, and maybe instead of trying to have people out here shook, because most people is reacting with bravado, like, you can't scare me, so I'm going to do what I'm going to do anyway.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the trick bag.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Straight up.
Ain't nothing gonna hurt me.
Okay.
Days later. Hey man, how you doing? Why your eyes yellow?
Oh my God.
Joints and everything. You out this joint. Eyeballs looking like a Tom Collins out this joint. Yeah, man. Can't go, and people just taking the bait, and it's like common sense got to kick in at some point. and I ain't saying with everybody, but somebody that common sense got to kick in. Like, hey man, you might just be trying to bait me. I'm gonna just go ahead and sit still and chill for a minute.
Right.
You see, time to tell.
Yeah, straight up. Man, it's been a pleasure, man. Thank you so much for coming and sitting down talking with us, brother. Congratulations to you, man. Also, wish you blessings, bro, in your future endeavors.
Same to y'all. Thanks for having me.
Mad Revue, go check that out. Blacmav.bandcamp. That's BLACMAV.bandcamp.com for Mad Revue. Brother CX, you got anything?
Nah, Mav, send your handles out, bro. Social media.
Oh yeah.
Still working on the main page to make it official business, but for right now, Blacmav on everything that matters. So that's BLACMAV on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, SoundCloud, Reverb Nation, Twitter, and
Pornhub.
Yeah, Bandcamp. That's
No, don't tell her.
Yeah, we use our
that account is Jack Mehoff.
we use our stripper names on Pornhub.
Right. Hey man, y'all gotta be talking like that, man. Got my man back here, man. That ain't cool.
Man, shoot.
But yeah, those are the sites. Oh yeah, on IG too.
All right.
Yeah, Blacmav on IG too. So yeah.
Blacmav, man, it's been an honor, man. Man, we'll talk again. Got some new projects coming up. We got some new ideas for the Master Channel coming up. Stay tuned for that. We definitely want you a part of that, no question. So we'll be seeing much more of you on the Master Channel podcast. We're gonna go ahead and close this out, ladies and gentlemen. Blacmav, the Master Channel podcast. This episode of the Master Channel is brought to you by Pop Pop's Woodshop. Pop Pop's Woodshop, specializing in custom woodworking, coffee tables, china cabinets. They do it all. They're dedicated to providing you with top quality work at the utmost professionalism. You call them today, 1-800-286-5233. You give the code PICK. That's PICK. Once again, Pop Pop's Woodshop, 1-800-286-5233. Use the code PICK. That's PICK. And that'll do it for this episode of the Master Channel. Shout out to Blacmav. I am DJ Wabadi.
I am CX, the producer.
And this was the Master Channel podcast where we discussed this thing of ours called hip hop. Until next time, check us out on the playback on the Master Channel on YouTube, also other sites. For CX, the producer, and Blacmav, I am DJ Wildbody saying peace and love. See you next time.